That's the only way we can do it, right? Yeah, remember the cell phone policy, right?
I'm turning mine off.
I think I had like $15 every
And I never got it.
I don't know why. I really think coffee was a bad idea.
See how many pages you do?
I definitely felt like that early. Like during the summer, I moved here and I didn't find a job before I actually school.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So I sat at the apartment all day. by
Just
myself.
5 pages.
So now that I have to wake up at like 7:30, I'm like,
So we should have two more students today. Did I see you before in last class? Yes, okay. I'm missing some students.
oh, I wrote it down. Nope, never again.
All right. Okay. So today, and I'm just going to teach you some fundamentals in economics, and there will be discussions, and so it will be very interactive. And on Thursday, we're going to apply the concept you learned today in our discussion. So you need to pay attention today. I'm going to introduce to you some very important fundamentals in economics. Okay, but before we start, and we have a new student and just added to the class, and now I'm going to let her introduce herself to you. Okay, so please tell us your name and which year you're in, what's your major, and what would you like to do in the future, and also one unusual thing you have done in your life, if you want to share with us.
My name is Sarah Middleton, and I'm a sophomore. I'm a music education major, and I would love to be a teacher in the future. One unusual thing about me? I'm a dual citizen. I'm Canadian American.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. So everybody here has introduced yourself in the last class, right? We should be expecting a couple more students coming. Anyway, so and remember you need to find another student to work with and to present with the presentation. Okay, so and by the end of next week you should let me know who you want to work with. Okay? Alright, let's start. So the very first thing I want to talk about is again, what is economics? Okay? In the last class, I think I introduced the definition to you, right? So anyone remembers that? What is economics?
The study of how individuals with limited resources make decisions.
It studies how individuals and societies use limited resources to make decisions on a daily basis. Okay, I'm going to repeat here. Economics is a study of how individuals and societies use limited resources to make decisions on a daily basis. I want you to look at that definition. Tell me what is the key words there?
Limited.
Limited resources. Do you agree with him? That is a key word. Limited resources. What are the things you know that are limited? Give me some examples. Money. We all have limited income, right?
Food,
Food,
food and water.
We have limited amount of the food resources, right? When you apply for college, you have limited number of college to apply for, right? What else?
You have limited living places.
You have limited options on, where to live, right? There are limited job opportunities out there, right? And we all want to be super person, but we have limited amount of energies, right? We have limited amount of time. We only have 24 hours every day. We have limited natural resources. Can you find anything that is on Earth that is unlimited?
Brain power.
Brain power. You think brain power is unlimited? Maybe there's a lot of potential, but my brain power is limited. There's only certain thing I can do. So I would say there's a potential for everyone's brain power, but it's still limited.
The only thing I've ever heard of that might fit that description is taxes and debt.
Debt. Are they limited or unlimited?
They're unlimited because you can have,
Unlimited?
you can have a unlimited amount of debt. Like, cause with the taxes and everything, right?
You always have a fixed amount of debt. The amount of debt you know, right? You would know how much you own, right?
Yes.
You would know. So if you know how much you own, and that is a limited amount. If it's unlimited, millions, billions, whatever, that's unlimited. Limited means, we have a fixed number. And for that, do we all have a fixed number of debt? And you can accumulate more and more, but there's always a number there, right? So it is limited. And it's good, but a good discussion. Anything else? Can you find any?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Do we have unlimited amount of knowledge? I don't. I have limited amount of knowledge.
But there's like an unlimited amount that you can learn. Like you can always learn more.
You can always earn more. That's true. You can always earn more. There's always more out there. But doesn't mean that in our society there is unlimited amount of knowledge. If you want to categorize it, you can put all the knowledge into different categories. That's what you're doing. You major in some major in music, right? Some major in business, some major in biology, psychology. If you divide up into different categories, and in each categories, and there is a limited amount of knowledge, and we have limited amount of categories. Any more? Ideas. You can be very creative, right? You can have a lot of ideas. But for a fixed amount of time and for a fixed brain power, how many ideas can you create? So, what I want to let you know is, you can think about this question for the next few days. Okay, what are the things that are unlimited? And you will end up with the conclusion that there's nothing on earth that is unlimited. There's always a limit for everything. Okay. Something may appear to be unlimited, but if you dig down, you will see the limitation of it. Okay. Even something like ideas. Okay. Why this is a key word? Limited resources. Why do you think this is a key word in economics?
because you have to make decisions based on like what you have in terms of like where it's gonna go, how it's gonna be used, and like how you're gonna either make more or just deal with this set amount.
That's right. Because our resources are limited. That's why when you decide to do something or own something, you have to give up some other opportunities. There is a constant trade-off for every decision you make. Okay, you have limited amount of money. You can either buy this or that. Okay, you can either study at Pembroke or somewhere else. I can either teach here or in the private sectors. So because our choices are limited, our resources are limited, every decision you make, and there is a constant trade-off. And we give a name for that trade-off. And that's the first fundamental concept I want to teach you today. This is called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. I'm going to give you the definition, and I want you to use your own words to write it down. Opportunity cost is what we forgo or give up in order to do what we want to do or own what we want to own. Opportunity cost is what we have to give up or forgo in order to do what we want to do or own what we want to own. This opportunity cost is directly connected, associated to the action that you have chosen. Okay. Let me ask you here. Question.
So you're saying that the action that we take is directly derived from the opportunity cost?
The opportunity cost is directly derived from that action.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, because we have that action, then it follows with opportunity cost. Let me ask you this. What is your opportunity cost right now? To sit here, listen to me, or talk with me, talk with each other.
We could be sleeping.
I could be at lunch with my teammates.
Could have lunch. So sleeping is his opportunity cost of being here. And you could having lunch with somebody. Having lunch is what she has given up to be here. So having lunch is her opportunity cost to be here. And somebody may want to, have a nap. Yeah, you said it already. And somebody may want to go to gym, right? Or, do your other homeworks, right? And because your choice vary from individual to individual, so for each individual, your opportunity cost of being here is different. Okay. Now let me ask you this. I want you to think deeper now with this concept. What is your opportunity cost of coming to UNCP to work in this college for 4 years? Think about it. Think about it. What's your opportunity cost for you to come to UNCP to study for 4 years? Okay, now.
Does
Go ahead. He raised his hand first. Okay.
Sacrificing family time, being away from your
You're
family.
being away from your family. So that's what you have given up.
No, that answered my question, because I was gonna say, does the opportunity cost always have to be positive? Negative?
What do you mean positive and negative?
Because like the thing, so like say if I hadn't gone here, I could be choosing to party instead of going to school, or I could be missing time with my
Yeah,
family.
it could be
Positive.
playing time.
Oh.
That's something, right? Yes, that's something you have given up.
All my friends were the same college, so I lost friendships by coming here.
Yeah, loss of friendships. That's what she has given up. What else?
can't spend as much time at work.
Yeah, you give up the opportunity of making money, right?
Not getting to see my younger brother and sister grow up.
Yeah, emotional loss, right? What else? So all those are your opportunity cost of being here. Now, I'm going to ask this question reversely, because when I ask this question reversely, that can be tricky. Because based on my teaching experience, there's always some student decide to quit in the middle of college. Let's say, after 2 years, a student decides, or thinking about quitting. So what is the opportunity cost for that person to quit college after 2 years he or she has been here? I ask the question reversely now.
Getting a good job.
Getting good job. If you have a bachelor degree, you may get a better job. So you have given up that opportunity.
They wasted the money that they had spent for the first 2 years in tuition, books, things like that.
That's good, because I was expecting somebody give me the answer. Let's think about what she said here. The money you spend the first couple of years in college, is that the opportunity cost of quitting the college? Is that the opportunity cost? Let me give you emphasize the definition again. Okay, opportunity cost is what you've given up. Is what you have given up, and due to your action, because of that action. And the opportunity cost is directly connected to that particular action chosen. And let me ask you, if this person does not quit, can he or she recover the expenses in the first 2 years? No, that's gone, right? So no matter this person quits or not quits, that cost cannot change, right? So that action they are quitting does not affect that cost at all. So that cost is not opportunity cost. Opportunity cost has to be directly derived from that action. Somebody else just said, getting a good job. If you don't have a good degree, you may not get a good job, right? So that's directly derived from that action. But the cost, the expense, the time you have spent the first 2 years, they are not. Are they cost? They are cost. But they are not the opportunity cost of quitting. They are not the opportunity cost of this action. But they are the cost. I'll tell you what this cost. I'm going to give you another concept later, teach you another concept. Then we know what that cost is.
So the money would be more like an investment, not an opportunity cost.
I will introduce another cost, and you will know what that cost is.
I got one to add to that.
Hmm?
I got one to add to that.
Okay.
Like if you quit college, you're giving up the different cultures and all you gain when you're in college. Like you got people from all over the world right here in UNCP, and you're giving all that up when you quit college.
It's the opportunity of getting to know people, getting to know the faculty, and maybe those opportunities can turn into a lifetime relationship, right? Okay, you give up that opportunities. Okay. What else? I really appreciate somebody brought that answer, because that's what I want to discuss. Very important. What else? What else you have given them up? If you decide to quit in the middle.
A lot of time that you've spent for the past 2 years that you really haven't accomplished anything now.
Did we just talk about that?
Yeah.
That is not directly derived from that action, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about what you guys just mentioned. The time spent, the money spent in the first 2 years. What are those costs? sunk costs. Sunk costs. What is sunk cost? Sunk cost is the cost that happened at the very beginning. It's not associated to the action chosen. Just like the time you spend in the first 2 years, the money you spend in the first 2 years, no matter you quitting or not, those costs cannot be recovered. Those costs cannot be changed. It's all the sunk cost. Right? Another example. And you have been studying for 2 years, want to major in music education. But then the third you're thinking about, oh, I really love economics. I want to switch. How about those courses you have taken in the music department? Can you recover those costs of time? You can't. Some of them will, go into the general education course, and that will be, still count. But there will be some courses that will not count for any credit toward economics. So the time and the money you spend on it, you consider some cost. Another example. I'm teaching one section of this course, right? And I have to be prepared. I spend time in reading and prepare for the course. And now my chair asked me, oh, there's another section of honor class, just opened up. Do you want to teach that? I can either say yes or no. So that's a decision, right? So let me ask you, what is the opportunity cost of that decision? What is the sunk cost of that decision? So what are the costs that is not directly associated to that decision? And what are the costs that directly associated to that decision? You guys understand what I'm asking?
Well, if you took on another class, you'd have less time at home and a lot more work that you have to do.
That's right. And even I don't have to prepare the same course again, but I still have to spend time reading the emails, answering the questions, and have extra office hours. And those are the costs that is directly associated to this decision, right? Of whether to take another course or not. What are the costs that is not associated with that decision? Preparation time for this class, right? So no matter I teach another section or not, I got to prepare the course. And that time has to be spent anyway. So that we call it a sunk cost. The preparation time is sunk cost for me, no matter I teach another section or not. And that cost cannot be recovered, cannot be avoided, as something happened at the very beginning. Does that make sense? Okay, now it's your turn. Give me some examples with both sunk cost and opportunity cost. There's many, many examples in your life.
Say you open a new business.
Mm-hmm.
Your sunk costs are everything all the resources and everything you have to use in order to open said business, like the time it took to set it up and the money it took and all this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the opportunity costs would be if that because you're up there trying to open a business, if you've got a family or you got friends that you want to hang out with, you're going to have to give up your family and friends' time and all this good stuff to go and manage your business, because if you don't manage your business is going to flop.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think there is a concept of opportunity cost and sunk cost in that example. Let me just refine your story a little bit. Let's say you want to open a dance studio, okay? To open, so you rent a space, you start, and doing the floor, having the mirror up there, right? Okay? And after that done, you start running the business. But after a year, you realize, you've been losing money, and you really do not have enough clients in this area to support this business. So you're thinking about closing down this business. So the decision is whether to close down or not. Okay, what would be the sunk cost for this decision? The time or money you spend on those renovation of the space and everything the time, right? Because if you close down the business, you're not gonna get the money back for that mirror you put up there, or the money you put into the floor, wooden floor. Those money gone, sunk cost. But what would be the opportunity cost of that decision?
You could find a like somewhere where I guess the dance studio would be more prevalent, where people would go to, where you could actually gain profit instead of lose your money.
Yes, so you could, that could be possible. Or you could sell it to another owner, find another owner, sell it. Or you can maybe stay for a while, and maybe something will happen, right? So you have given up on this. Good example. Others?
Would opportunity, no, never mind, that's not, never mind.
Opportunity is what you have given up in order to do what you do. It's something you forgot.
So if you're like deciding whether or not to play sports in college, your opportunity cost is that you could either take the time to, dedicate yourself to the sport, or hang out with friends, focus on academics more. All of those are opportunity costs, while sunk cost is you're already paying for the school, so.
Yeah, so that's not, you're going to have the accommodation. You're going to eat no matter what you're going to choose to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that has nothing to do with your decision whether you're going to be athletic or not athletic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that will consider it food cost and accommodation cost and driving cost, all this cost. Consider some cost for that decision. Yeah, very good. Others?
The same could be said for like choosing your major or like choosing to double major or not. Because for example, like here, like the nursing majors and the music majors tend to have a lot more work. And then double majors also have a lot more work than people who, just choose. I mean, like everything requires work, but there are some that just require more work and more time spent.
So what is the opportunity cost?
So the opportunity cost would be like similar to choosing to play sports or not. You could spend time with friends. You could have more social time. You could study slower or study less or whatever. But when you choose to
stay here,
stay and or choose like a harder major or two majors, then you kind of give that up.
That's right.
But the sunk cost, I mean, you're already paying for it anyway. It doesn't really matter. So.
Say like you choose to go to a college to play a sport, and then you end up wanting to quit. So then your sunken cost is the time you spent at the college and like the lost, like not having the relationships that were gained because you chose to play a sport instead. The opportunity cost is like you could start focusing more on your academics or start trying to build those relationships afterwards.
Yes, great. Thank you. How about owning a pet? A lot of you have owning a pet, right? What is the sunk cost and the opportunity cost there? You bought a pet, let's say you spend $700 on it, right? And when you bought it, you have to give him, her a lot of shots, right? And some people may own this pet forever, but some people maybe after several years they give to somebody else, right? Let's say the decision comes that you're going to travel a lot of time, you have to give it up, let somebody else take care of him or her. Okay, so the decision is about whether you're going to give it up or not. Okay, the sunk cost would be the cost of when you buy the pet, or the cost of the shots, right? But what would be the opportunity cost of giving up the pet? The emotional bond, right? Okay. Any other examples you want to share? Okay, I'm going to teach you one more cost. So there's a lot of cost here. On top. cost, I'm going to talk about this called a marginal cost. Marginal cost can be opportunity cost sometimes, but they are not exactly the same thing, but can be the same under some circumstances. Okay, but before I talk to you about the marginal cost, I'm going to talk about the new concepts called marginalism. Marginalism is a comparison between marginal benefit and a marginal cost. Marginalism is a comparison between the marginal benefit and the marginal cost. What is the marginal benefit? What is the marginal cost? Okay, from now on, I want you to remember in this class, whenever I say marginal, this, marginal, that means additional. In economics, marginal means additional. So marginal cost is additional cost due to an action. And the marginal benefit is additional benefit due to the action. For example, I use the example of teaching another section of this class. The marginal cost of that action would be extra time I spent on answering the emails and extra office hours I have to hold and extra time to grading. So all those things are considered as a marginal cost as well, in addition to the marginal cost. So marginalism tells us this. Okay? If you want to reach the optimal decision making, the marginal cost of that decision has to be equal to the marginal benefit of that decision. No matter what we talk about, what decision we talk about, you could be the consumer deciding what to buy in the grocery store. Or you could be an industry leader, decide whether you're going to merge or acquire another company. Or you could be a policymaker, decide whether you're going to trade with this company, with another country. So no matter what decision we're talking about, the marginalism tells us if you want to reach the optimal decision making, the marginal benefit has to be equal or very close to the marginal cost. This is not a very easy concept, okay, but it's very, very important. And actually, this is the principle behind decision making. How any of us makes a decision on anything, it is marginalism. Because behind that decision, you are comparing the marginal benefit and the marginal cost of decision. Not total cost, not sunk cost, but marginal cost and marginal benefit. To give you an understanding of the marginalism, I'm going to give you a very simple example. Okay? Let's say, I'm very hungry right now. I go to Burger King, decide to get a burger. Okay, very, very hungry. I have not eaten for in the last 24 hours. So I got the first burger. Okay, I finish eating that. Give me some satisfaction. Give me actually quite satisfaction. Okay? So the satisfaction I gained from eating the first burger, I call it the marginal benefit of eating the first burger. But what is the marginal cost of that eating that burger? If this burger cost me $1.
You lose your $1?
It's $1. So the marginal cost is $1, and the marginal benefit is the satisfaction I gained from eating that burger, right? Listen carefully. After I finish this burger, I still have quite a bit of room left in my stomach. So I decide to buy the second one. And then I finish eating the second one. The second one also gave me some satisfaction. But compared with the first one, which one gave me a higher satisfaction, you think? Probably the first one, right? So for the second one, I also gain some marginal benefit, but you know that the marginal benefit from the second one is what? Smaller than the first one. But how about the marginal cost? The same. After I finish the 2 burgers, I still have some room left. There's a little bit room left. So I decide to buy the third one. After I eat the third one, I'm really full. Okay, how about the marginal benefit from third burger?
It's even less.
It's less. It's much less than the second one, the first one. But what about the marginal cost? It's still the same. Okay? Just imagine. I know I stopped here. As a rational person, I should stop right here, right? Okay. But I say, I did not stop. I went ahead and bought the fourth one, and I shoved down in my throat. What about the marginal benefit of the fourth burger? Probably negative, right? After eating the fourth one, I probably got sick, a little bit sick. So think about this simple story there. What happened to the marginal cost? When you buy the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, remain the same, right? Marginal cost is $, $, right? Does not change. But what happened to the marginal benefit? It goes down, right? It goes down. So when did I stop? When did I stop? You think about it.
When your benefit went away?
When the benefit didn't outweigh the cost.
When the benefit, extra benefit, is almost actually equal to that marginal cost of that burger. You need to think about it. Not only I want to gain the satisfaction of eating burger, but I do have to consider cost. Even if it's $1, I do have to consider this cost, right? But just imagine if it's not $1, if it's $5, you really have to take that into consideration. When it's the $1, you probably think that's an insignificant amount of money. I just don't care. But usually, when we make the decision, we take that marginal cost into consideration seriously, right? Okay. So what this story tells you does not tell you exactly actually what the margin, but tells you the trend of your decision making. You want to reach that point, actually the sweet spot. That sweet spot is when the marginal benefit actually is very close to the marginal cost. And actually, our behavior is this way. As you consume more, the marginal benefit is going to go down. No matter what goods we're talking about. For the majority of goods in the world, that pattern follows. As you consume more and more, and the marginal benefit will go down, and eventually will go to negative. So the optimal decision is reached at when the marginal benefit is very close to that marginal cost, and that is a happy moment. So this is something I want to talk about, marginalism. Any question or any other example you want to share? Okay, so for the first discussion, and you will have to read that story and think about what is opportunity cost, okay, and this is about prescription drug, and what is opportunity cost in that phenomenon, that event, and what is the marginal cost, the marginal benefit that relate to that decision for that policymaker. You have to apply all this concept, and when you read the story, okay? Because in the next class, what I'm going to ask you to do is, I'm going to have some people represent one view and some people represent the opposite side, and they were going to bring together. We talk about, okay, maybe one side of the class talk about marginal cost, and the other side of class talk about the marginal benefit, okay? And then we combine all your opinions, decide what is the optimal decision, okay? But one last thing I'm going to talk about, that is not related to the cost, it is about incentives. Okay, so this is one last thing. Incentives. Economic is at root the study of incentives. Remember this. Economics at root is the study of incentives. Okay. I'm going to tell you a very fun experiment. It is a real experiment that is done in Haifa, Israel. It's very fun. It's one of my favorite experiments and tell you so much about the power of incentives and the mysterious powers of incentives. But first let me tell you how do we categorize incentives. Usually there are three flavors of incentives. One is economic incentives, okay, money. Okay? And the second one we call the social incentive. You know, sometimes it's related to the regulation and law and customs. Social incentive. Okay, the third flavor of incentive is called moral incentive, morality, moral incentive. So usually we have these three flavors of incentives. And they all work together behind each decision making. Okay, so what is this experiment? This experiment is about what happened in the daycare center. You know, most of the daycare center has specifically, a time for the parents to pick up their kids, right? 4 o'clock here, I'm not sure, 4 o'clock. And in other countries, maybe 5 o'clocks. Okay, so they all have, clearly stated time for parents to pick up their kids. But guess what happens? Parents do come late, okay?
Oh, you guys aren't out yet?
No.
Okay.
But parents do come late, right? And that's not something only happen here, it happens all over the world. Okay, actually my relatives work in a daycare center, the parents often come late. And when they come late, the kids are anxious, and also the teachers have to wait after hour, have to work after hour to, and to wait for the parents to show up. So to economists, that's a problem, that's a dilemma. Because, time is money, and when the teachers have to wait for the parents to show up, and that's extra cost for the teachers and the daycare center, right? Okay. So there's two economists in Israel, and decide to offer a solution. What do you think the solution is? Offer a solution. Again, remember this is critical thinking class. Don't want to just tell you a story. I want you to work with me on this.
Maybe the cost goes up for every certain amount of time that they're late, so maybe it's like $1 a minute that they're late or something along those lines.
Charge them a fine if they come late. That's their solution. Yeah, you have something.
Maybe if they kind of related to that, if you come on time, they cut the costs, maybe like monthly, depending on how it's financially set,
Okay, yeah.
They're there on time, so you take $20, $30, whatever.
So contingent on whether they are
Right.
on time or not.
Mhm.
Yeah, good.
If they're late a certain amount of times, the kids could be punished, or the kids could be can't come anymore.
That's really harsh, right? Yeah.
They actually, they could extend the hours because some certain, jobs and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
They might could extend the hours and just charge the parents more for extra time.
Okay. So what is economists, offered, suggest is very similar to what you guys said. Okay, it's charging a fine. So they chose a 10 daycare center in this city called Haifa in Israel. They chose 10 daycare center, and they started this 20 weeks experiment. For the first 4 weeks, they did not implement any policy. They just keep track of the number of late pickups per daycare center per week. So the data shows that for every daycare center, every week, there's about 8 late pickups. Okay? So that's the data they got the first 4 weeks of the observation. Starting 5th week, they start implementing a new rule, a new policy. The policy says if the parents come late more than 10 minutes, they will be charged $3 per incident. $3 per incident. Okay? Now I want you to give a guess. After this policy is implemented, what happened?
Like the amount of like pickups went down, probably disappeared.
Okay,
Is $3 a lot?
I'm asking you.
I'm not really thinking that too much happened if it's just $3.
Yeah,
Okay.
but some people are really funny about them $3. That's what I was accounting for.
Okay, good. Other opinions? Other guesses? There's no right or wrong. It's just
Yeah.
guess.
That nothing much changed because it's only $3.
Okay. What else?
Maybe it went up because people saw it as a like permission to be late.
Okay. What happened is the late pickups, the number of late pickups not only did not decrease, but also went up to 20. Now per daycare center per week there's 20 late pickups. And you will touch the right point there. Okay, but why? This is really unexpected, because when the economist over this solution is trying to solve this dilemma, is trying to eliminate this problem from the daycare center, now the late pickup went up 20.
Because when there was no fine, picking your kid up late was like you're doing something wrong, because this is when the daycare's supposed to close. But when you put in a fine, it's like giving parents permission to leave their kids there longer, like you're paying for more time.
Very good. And what you said, very, very good. Okay, so there's 2 reasons. I'll explain to you. The first reason somebody already mentioned, $3 is not enough. It's too small amount. If it's $50, I think the outcome will be totally different, right? But is that the only reason? No, it cannot be the only reason, because if it is the only reason, then the number of late pickup may not go down much, but it should not go up, right? If that's the money is the only reason, the number of late pickup may not decrease much, but should not go up, right? Okay, so the first reason is a reason, but it's not the only reason. The money is not much. The second reason is what you guys just said. There was some change of incentives, okay? And this policy of charging $3 for late pickup actually serves as what incentive?
To your kids.
What incentive?
It's like almost free daycare.
Economic incentive. This $3 fine actually is the economic incentive, right? Okay. But this economic incentive, this introduction of the economic incentive has its own cost. Okay, just like what we talk about opportunity. For every decision, there is opportunity cost, and there's no exception here. You want to introduce this policy, you want to introduce economic incentives in this situation, there will be a cost. And what is the cost? What you just mentioned that. What is cost? You said the parent do not feel very guilty anymore, right? So how do we put economic language in that description?
There's no social cost.
The moral incentive went down, right? Before the policy was introduced, when the parents come late, they feel guilty. So even though there was no economic incentive, but actually there was a moral incentive was there. But now this policy was introduced, the student can buy off their guilt. So their moral incentive went down. So what's going on there is a change of 2 incentives when this policy was implemented. One is the introduction of the economic incentive. The other one is a decrease of moral incentives. Okay, now let me ask you. So there is a change of these two incentives, both incentives have changed. Which change is bigger based on this result? Moral incentive, right? Because the number went up. Good. So this result is very surprising. Okay. All right. Okay. So this policy and went on for another 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, economists decide to eliminate this policy. Now I want you to give another guess. Now what happens? The policy is totally eliminated. Original situation resumed. Do we go back to the number eight?
If I was to venture a guess, maybe it didn't change because they had because the policy was there to begin with. Maybe they think that the daycares just don't care no more.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, good moral people would go pick up their kids on time,
Mhm.
but I don't know the people, so I can't. But
You are one of them. We are talking about people.
right.
Yeah,
So
just
if
us.
the moral incentive, yes, the number would decrease. It may even surpass 8. It may go past 8. It may go to 2 or 1, or it may not happen often.
Okay. Yeah. Others?
Well, if they weren't feeling bad beforehand because they were buying off their guilt, and then now they don't even have to buy it off, then it may stay the same or slightly rise more.
So what happens after the policy is eliminated, the number remain at 20. Nothing happens. Why? Okay, you guys will touch on the very important one. You have some question here?
They got used to it. Like, once you do something and you pay $3 and it's no big deal and nobody's looking at you like, why didn't you pick up your kid? When they eliminate the $3, they're just gonna be like, okay, no one cares anymore.
You're gonna say something?
I was gonna say something like that. Like the parents got used to it, like she said. So they, by the time they didn't have to pay anymore, they were happy they didn't have to pay anymore. They're like, doesn't matter now. I already paid some, and now I don't have to pay anymore. So might as well keep coming late.
Good insight. Let me tell you what happened there. Okay. There is a very deep economic incentive and decision making behind this simple phenomenon. So what happened there is this. When this policy was implemented and this $3 fine was introduced, this $3 actually served as a price signal. And when this signal sends out to the parents, what it delivered, the information they deliver to the parents is that this. The hassle or the pain that the daycare center has to suffer when you pick up your kids late is only worth $3. That's the signal that sends out to the parents. Whether or not the parents realize that there's a different issue, but when the signal sends out, immediately, the human being, rational agent, we are rational agent, start processing this information. And we put unconsciously, we put this dollar amount on the pain or the suffering that daycare center has to bear. Okay, so after the signal sent, and the parents saying, oh, it's only worth $3, and it's not a big deal. If it's $50 introduced, the psychological impact is going to be totally different. So now, the guilt that parents had before is dramatically decreased. Because, in a sense, it's like a daycare center tell them, it's not a big deal, you're late, it's only worth $3. So now the parents can come late, and pay no fines, and have no guilt. That's why the number remained at 20. Okay, so is the experiment simple? It's very simple. But I like it because it's very powerful. It shows you the mysterious power of incentives. And there's a lot of economic concepts behind this experiment. Okay, so that's why And this, I'm telling you this story because from now on, I want you to know that every time, policymaker launch a new policy, I guarantee there's always unintended consequences. Almost, I can guarantee you always. And also the net benefit is almost always smaller than what is expected. When the economists introduced this policy of $3 fine, their intention was to make the number go down. But now guess what happens? Now the number went up to 20 and remained 20. Unintended consequences. And net benefit is always smaller than what is expected. What appeared to be a good policy may not be as good as it tends to be. So this is one of my favorite experiments that is done by two economists in Israel. And I want to tell you what to take home from this experiment is, from now on, when you discuss, the pros and cons of policy, I want you to keep this story in your mind. The intention can be very good. Before this, I wouldn't expect this outcome if I did not read this experiment. I would probably vote yes, let's try that. Okay, but you never know how people respond. The people's incentives is very mysterious. Okay, so people always like to ask economists, please make a prediction about what's going to happen. I tell people no. If this economist tell you what's going to happen, that means he does not really understand economics. You cannot predict. You can experiment it, and you can draw some insight from experiments, but you can never predict what's going to happen. So, and that's what I want to mention today is several important things: opportunity cost, sunk cost, marginalism, marginal cost, marginal benefit, and what is incentives. Okay. So again, like what I said in the first class, what I want to do with this class is there's nothing for you to remember from this class, but I want you to train you to think like economist. I want to put that glasses where economic lens on your face at the end of semester. From now on, every time you encounter a decision or you read about policy, start thinking about what is the margin benefit, what is the margin cost. I'm telling you, there's no free lunch in this world. What does it mean there's no free lunch? There is a consequence, there is a cost behind every decision. Behind every decision. It includes all policies, all decisions. There is a cost there. You tell somebody, no, it only has good benefit, it has no cost. And that is absolutely wrong. It will have cost. And our job, what's our job? Our job is not to deny the cost of it. It's to weigh the cost and benefit. Decide where is that sweet spot. And that's actually the role of the economist. And that's the role you're going to do when you go out on the world. Okay? All right, so any questions? Any other discussions? Or anything you want to talk about. We have 15 minutes left.
I just think it's really interesting that when you think of economics, you think of like money and how people use it, but it's really more about people.
Yeah, it's
And really
more about
that's what
how we
it is
make
about.
decision science. Yeah, it's really interesting. Any insight from, because I learned that I always learn from my students. I want you to talk. I want to hear you inside. You inspires me, and then I come back to inspire you even more. And then I want to be that like this interactive.
Could you repeat the definition of marginal cost again?
Marginal cost, and it's an additional cost and due to a specific action or decision. It's addition. Whenever you see the word margin in economics, it means addition.
I got something to add to that discussion. I wonder if they continued this experiment and like put a higher cost up, like you said, like $50, and then took it away. If it went down, I wonder if it stayed down.
Yeah, I wonder too. But let's talk about this. Interesting. So what do you think the consequence if we introduce $50? Any of you is parent? No, I guess not, right? Okay. So what do you think may happen if we charge, no, $50 is too much, I think. Let's say $20 if you're late for more than 10 minutes. What do you think may happen?
I think it would go down a little bit. The families that, may not be, because I mean, like in everywhere there's gonna be like a range of families that make like a range of, like their income is bigger or smaller. So it would decrease some for people who are either like more, who pay more attention to how they spend their money, or the people who make less. So it would decrease like maybe a quarter, I think, but it wouldn't completely change.
What else may happen?
I think that they would still be late, they just wouldn't be more than 10 minutes late.
They will still be late. They will be ready to pay.
Because regardless, the consequence, I think, at least the way I think parents would think, is that now they have a cushion, but just don't go past that cushion.
Okay. What do you think?
I think some people would be like unhappy about it, like maybe find another daycare because in their minds it's
I would
like,
do that.
This should be $3.
I was thinking, if I'm the parent, I probably think, because if I hire a babysitter, how much that per hour, I do not know. I mean, it definitely would not be $20 per 10 minutes, right? So I would never do that. So I'm probably going to just not take my kid there, just let the babysitter do it. So one thing may happen, I do not know, you may see the number of enrollment go down, yeah. You have less kids in that daycare center, that's something that may happen. Or maybe some, parents, got really angry and start talking to the principal, complain about, this all can happen. But again,
Maybe they would be later because, so say they might have been 15 minutes late, but they're gonna pay $20 anyway, so why not be an hour late?
That's right, yeah, they kind of resent paying that much, so they're gonna come like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we never know, yeah, but it's all possible, so it's interesting. So this, and my field is game theory, but I also start doing some human subject experiments. And what I learned from doing this work is that I become more humble, because I realize the more I learn, the more I do not know about human beings, and you guys teach me things, every day when I do the experiment, I learn so much. Very simple, I can tell you guys another very simple experiment, it will surprise you too. Okay, this experiment is about, it's about altruism. And understanding how altruistic people are, okay? So experiment is very simple, and you're given $10, okay? And you're asked that you can share this $10 with a stranger, you don't know that person, in 2 ways. One way is split $5, and the other way is you keep $8 and you give that person $2. So,
Everyone seems to think I'm doing class.
okay, so you just have these 2 choices. Okay, you can either choose split, half and half, or choose keep 8 and 2. The experiment is that simple. Okay, you do not know the person if you share money. Guess what the result is? How people behave. More than 70% of people choose 5 and 5. It's very surprising. It is very surprising, And so actually, when this economist did this experiment, they published the result, and really it was phenomenal, in the economic world. And a lot of economists from different universities started replicating this experiment. They got the same result. Most people actually want to share the same number with a stranger. Okay, then another economist came over and said, I don't think this is a proof of altruistic behavior. I'm going to change the experiment. So this person changed the experiment. How do we change it? They add one more option to the participant. Now you not only have the choice of split 5-5, 8-2, but also you can grab $1 from the stranger. So your choice set is bigger now. Not only you can share, but also you can take $1 from the stranger. So in the computer setting, you have these 3 choices you decide to do. Then whatever the result, you can take home that money, okay? So now guess what happens when the experiment is changed slightly like that?
I would think it would change, personally, for me.
If we're talking about same individuals, and it should not change. If those individuals were altruistic to begin with, then it should not change, right? But guess what? It's different. Now it's different. Now there are some people who take $1, and the majority of the people actually keep $8.
Okay.
So I'm not going to continue there's more experiment actually testing. So what is simple experiment? So this economist, published this work, and what their conclusion is this. When we trying to claim whether people are altruistic or not, we have to be extremely careful because it depends on the environment. And in the environment where you can only give, you only have one option, that's just to give, to offer, most of us probably will do it. But in the real world, actually, that's not very realistic. In the real world, sometimes we can give, sometimes we can take, right? And when we have a setting like that, human beings' behavior can change dramatically. So, again, simple experiment tells a lot about human beings' behavior incentives. I just want to tell you, hope you know, and this class can stimulate your interest in economics. Economics is a very fascinating subject. It tells you so much about yourself. People ask me, what do you learn from economics? I learn about myself. I learn why I do certain things, why I'm rational sometimes and irrational at the time. Understand, the certain cost when I behave, but I still cannot avoid it. You start understanding yourself in a much deeper level. And with that understanding, you become wiser and become happier. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, and so I can go on to tell you all this experiment. But okay, so what I want you to do is read the text, read the 2 articles. You guys got that 2 articles? In the email, right? Read that 2 articles, and there are questions behind this discussion, and I want each one of you prepared answers, 3 to 5 minutes answer for all these discussed questions, because I'm going to randomly ask you to present your discussion, your answer for this question, and we're going to have very lively discussion. Okay? So be fully prepared for those questions behind that book.